Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm here with Colton Cox. He is all set to share another fantastic single called Stuck, and I'm incredibly excited to talk to him about it. Colton, thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty great. Happy to be here.
Nice, happy to have you. What part of the world are you in right now?
I am in Kansas City, Missouri, right
Nice.
smack dab in the middle of the United States.
What's going on in Kansas City at the moment?
Oh, well, it's a pretty beautiful day today. Um, just enjoying the nice weather and hopefully it doesn't rain all week like it's supposed to. So,
Okay. All right. Yeah, enough time inside. It's time to get out and enjoy some sunshine, that's for sure.
Mhm.
Well, I've immediately got to kind of point out the obvious here, but your guitar skills are unprecedented.
Thank you.
Before we get into the music itself, I mean, I see your background and it's a beautiful display, and I'm incredibly jealous. I want to know how long have you been playing for?
Well, I first started plunking around on guitar when I was like 12 or 13.
Okay,
But I officially started taking lessons when I was 14. So my
nice.
uh, my birthday is actually Friday, the same day that the single comes out.
Oh, nice.
So I'll have been playing for 15 years at that point.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. And I see you built up quite the collection. It's definitely an addictive hobby. I know that
Yes,
for
it
a fact. um, so I'd love to know a little bit about your process as a musician. I'm assuming your music starts with a guitar and kind of like noodling around.
it varies actually. I've done a lot of different things. So when I first started writing music, I was definitely a like singer-songwriter type with an acoustic guitar
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. And I started writing songs not too long after I started playing. Sorry, I'm
Something's going on. That's okay.
sorry. But I started writing my own songs, and I was just shortly after started playing guitar.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I started with singer-songwriter stuff, and I've kind of picked up different instruments over the year. There's actually a piano off camera that you can't see, and some
Nice.
other things. So yeah, I pick something, and I start with that, and kind of just start noodling around and see what I can do. So.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, I want to hear all about Stuck. I want to know what it's about, what inspired you to make it, and yeah, kind of just the general, origin story of the song, I suppose.
Well, so I wrote Stuck after I was going through kind of a rough breakup. Basically, like just having trouble moving on with it. Um, and I've always just really kind of leaned towards 60s and 70s, like funk and rock music and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So it kind of affects everything that I do. But I just kind of had this. Kind of having a rough time, and I was trying to get some of it out by writing a song, and had this lick pop into my head and started writing the rest of it. So
Seems to help. I don't know, man. It's just something about breakups that inspire music. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not too uncommon.
yeah, I mean, I for the most part, I tend not to write actually about love and relationships all that much. So
Right.
when I do, it's something that's really like
Sure.
affecting me.
Yeah, I feel like artists across the board are writing about personal experience, writing about what's happening in your life at the moment. And
Right,
it's a lot better that it's more of a genuine topic as opposed to just manufacturing some BS in order
right.
to put a song out. So I can definitely respect that.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's part of the whole thing is I think people really attach to when you take a risk and kind of put yourself out there.
mhm.
Um, and hopefully people can hear that in all my music and you know
Right.
take it for what it's worth, I suppose.
Yeah. And actually comparing to the other singles that you've put out, which are also great. I've listened to it all. Um, how do you feel that you sort of like do you feel that you've departed on your sounder a little bit? Are you trying to experiment and try new things? Like what's the
I
plan?
I actually write a lot of different styles of music.
Yeah.
I try to find a common thread. So like the two of the songs that I have out are more like acoustic numbers,
Right.
and I was really putting those out as kind of showing what I can do in different ways.
Mhm.
The EP that I have coming out here in a month or two is going to be more of
Nice.
like what I do in general. It's more like kind of a funk and rock with a little bit of soul and R&B stuff mixed in there.
Mhm.
But I wanted to show what else I could do with those acoustic tracks, and that's kind of why I try a lot of different things. So I try to lump together different sounds and projects that I think go together, and
Okay.
then other ones I'll release by themselves, or just
That
kind of
makes
however
sense.
I feel is appropriate.
I love that because you know what? I don't like listening to EPs that sound like they're made from 4 different artists. I
Right.
much prefer the sort of cohesive sound story from start to finish. So thank you for even taking that into consideration. No, really, it's a thing. It's just like if you have an idea for something, sure, put it out as a single. Like that
Right.
seems to be the way that the music industry is headed is the
Yeah.
singles. But yeah, if you've got an idea and a theme that you want to cover, yeah, go for the EP route.
Yeah, I think it's I mean for me, like I was saying, I'm a very big fan of 60s and 70s rock, which
Yeah.
was very album oriented
Hmm.
type music. So for me, I think I try to, if I can, I try to get all these different sounds under the same roof and make
Right,
it
right.
all make sense and connect to each other. So
Night. And as far as like the production side of things and the other instrumentation that is featured on your songs, is that also you or do you have outside help on these things?
so the two singles I have out, so I have Stuck, and then Rubber Band Girl that I released a year ago is actually going to be
Hmm.
on the EP as well.
Nice.
Um, those two, I had some select musicians from different Wichita bands, which is where I started recording
Oh,
this album
cool.
in Wichita, Kansas. But then the rest of the group is Jeff Winningham on bass, Aaron Plummer on guitar, and Jake Edwards on drums, which they've been playing with me for a very long time. So I don't play everything. I do play a lot of different instruments, but I like to let other musicians play on the records because you can hear their voices coming through as well.
Totally. I get that and I love that because apparently, I mean not apparently, especially if you're, not as good. It seems like you're more of a guitar guy. Kind of let that shine and come through and also it's got to be fun working on music with other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can be
Yeah.
this really insular, isolated experience, but if you have friends and a community of people that can help out, then
Well, and
go that route.
I went to college for music, and a lot of it was focused on jazz.
Oh,
And
yeah.
for me, I'm not really like a big jazz player. I don't really play jazz all that often anymore, but I can still embrace the fact that like every time you play with different musicians, it's a slightly different sound,
Yeah,
or something different comes through every time.
right.
So I try to embrace that as much as I can.
Yeah, it's the ultimate musical team sport. Like
Right.
seriously,
Right.
you can. I mean, you can be selfish and you can go on tangents, but realistically, if you want things to sound good, you need everyone to kind of do their job.
Right.
So
Mhm.
I get that. I'd love to hear about some of your musical inspirations. You mentioned a lot of '60s to '70s sounds.
Yeah.
Who sort of did you grow up on, and who inspired what you're making today?
Well, it's kind of funny because the music that I grew up on was completely different than the kind that I write.
Oh,
Uh,
really? Okay.
yeah, my mom is a huge country music fan. Everything from old fashioned country to '90s stuff.
Mhm.
Um, I'd say my favorite artists nowadays. I love Alabama Shakes and Brittany Howard.
Totally. She's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And then I'm also a very big Jack White fan,
Oh, yeah.
which he ties right into all the '60s and '70s
Yeah,
rock stuff. Uh,
totally. Do you
but
have a
as far
favorite side project? Sorry to interrupt, but
as favorite side project of it, I mean, I do like the Wracking Tours a
it's
lot.
me too. Number one favorite, like by far, better than I think anything like the White Stripes put out, or even like his solo stuff. But
I'm very inclined towards the solo stuff, but I do like the Wracking Tours a lot too.
yeah,
So
I'm not saying I don't love it. I'm just saying, if it's already in a league of its own, I think it's at
right,
the top of the league. But
right,
I could definitely, I get that sound. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
yeah.
Um,
As far as like older influences, I mean, like most people, I'm a huge Beatles fan. Uh,
mhm.
but I also really the like mid to late '60s and early '70s is like pretty
Yeah.
much anything that comes out of that time frame, whether it be Neil Young or Led Zeppelin or
Yeah.
whoever it might be. I love all that kind of stuff. So
Nice. And so you said that you've been making music since around 14, 15 years old. And so now that I've heard some of the artists, I want to know, was there a specific album in your life that sort of propelled you to take this path as a musician or to at least creating on your own?
well, I think the first album to really like hit me hard as far as like really thinking about writing my own music and things like that
Hmm.
um, was probably Radiohead's OK Computer.
Yeah.
And I don't write anything like what they sound like.
No one could. No one possibly could. And if they tried, they'd get slaughtered for it.
But
So,
yeah, I mean, I heard that when I was in middle school, and I kind of just started playing guitar, and it was just something so completely different than what I had heard before, and everything on that album just really comes together as a cohesive whole. And it's
yeah,
also, but it's still so varied. There's so many different things happening on that. So
agreed. I could talk about OK Computer for the next 5 hours and there would still not be enough time. So, we'll save that for another time
yeah,
for sure. Um, yeah, that's a great pick. A lot of people who I ask the same question to, it's always an album that I'm either unfamiliar of or haven't quite heard of the artist. But yeah, that's a
well, I,
mainstay.
I won't lie. I think my earliest music listening was more like Stained.
Oh, but you know what? That's fine too.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sure, it's all good.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me this, now that you're, seem to be regularly making music, I gotta know, what is it that you enjoy the most about being an artist and sort of having the creativity and freedom to do what you want?
Well, I really have only started doing music stuff full time within the last year or so,
Okay.
and I think just being able to be in control of your own schedule and you know the main thing that you're putting all your energy into is not only something that you deeply care about, but it's also very fulfilling. It's very you
Yeah.
get a lot out of it. So
Hmm.
um, yeah, that's probably the most rewarding part of it for me is that at the end of the day, the product that I'm making is still like something that means a lot to me.
Of
So,
course. Does it ever feel like nerve-wracking, or do you get nervous before a big release or something like that? Something that you've spent so much time on and put so much of your own personality into?
I think the hardest part about releases, um, I'm like fairly confident in the songs that I write. So for me,
Yeah.
it's always the promotional aspect that's a little nerve wracking for me. Um,
Yeah.
Especially like I just started using Submit Hub for this last
Yeah.
thing. And it's this website, you send your song off to different blogs and playlisters and stuff like that. Um, but they give you feedback, and sometimes it's not the most friendly thing in the world that you get from them. Nothing truly brutal, but
I know I've used it on
yeah,
occasion and it's I don't have the best things to say about it as a platform, so I'll just keep
that's
my
all
mouth
right.
shut.
I
But
get it.
yeah,
But
I
I
get
yeah,
that.
having getting used to not everybody liking your stuff and giving you negative feedback is something an
Yeah.
adjustment I'm getting used to. So
Yeah. Don't take it to heart. A lot of
oh
people, yeah, that's all I'll say, but whatever.
yeah, there's too many people in the world for everybody to like what you do.
Exactly. Well, yeah, you're not gonna have like an EDM blog like digging
No.
your music or something like
No.
that. I don't know how it looks on your end, but I know like, the times that I've used it, it's pretty specified to the type of
Yeah,
person. So
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
All right, switching gears from that though, I want to know, as you build up this discography and you continue to put releases out, especially with an EP on the way, is this something that you'd like to eventually perform,
Yes.
live?
I actually I have a short tour planned in
Oh,
July.
nice.
Yeah, it's not anything huge. So
Sure.
like
No, of course not. Just something, I would assume something local or at least like
yeah,
one state.
I'm touring with another KC artist named Calvin Arsenia, very well respected harpist in his own right.
Sweet.
But we're gonna go to Wichita, and then we're gonna have a little porch concert that we live stream during that trip, and then we're gonna
Nice.
do here a place here in KC, and then a place in Lawrence, Kansas as well. So
Very cool. Very cool. And when is that, did you say?
that starts on July 22nd, and then it's the last one is Sunday the 24th. Or I'm sorry, the 25th.
Nice. Okay,
And
hey, that's right around the corner.
yeah,
That's
yeah, and
something to look forward to.
the album comes out on July 24th,
Oh, sweet.
so it's kind of
Sweet.
all promoting that. So
Nice. And so I'm assuming by then more music will come out. So this is more of a hypothetical question, but is there a single song that you're planning on putting out that you're looking forward to performing the most live?
well, a lot of these songs that I have been recording, I actually have played live before. These are kind of products of a solo record that I started like 2 years ago.
Okay. Oh,
And
nice.
so the things that will be on the record are don't sound anything like they have live.
Okay.
But I've kind of reworked a few things, and they'll be familiar to people that have heard it live before, but also still a little bit different.
Gotcha. Is it going to be you solo or are you bringing any of
I will have a
the
band with me on that tour.
Oh, cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Nice. That's fun because then you know what it's just like it's the experience and it's the whole thing. If there's one thing I'd like to do in my life, it'd be going to any kind of tour. I
Yeah.
just I love the idea of being in a city for a night and then moving on and kind of just like creating these little mini memories here
Yeah,
and there.
this will be one of the first ones I've really done myself too.
Hmm.
I'm like very new to the whole touring and all that kind of stuff. I've been playing music for a long time, but I've always stayed
Sure,
pretty local in whatever city I'm in. So
of course.
now I'm trying to do the whole thing. So here we
You're
are.
doing it, man. Hey, man, you got to start somewhere, right? It doesn't
Right,
matter how old or young you are. It's just
right.
about doing it. There's no
Yeah,
right and there's no right or wrong answers
yeah,
because it's only you, you know?
yeah. I'm very excited about it. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I'm glad now that I am at a place where I feel like I'm prepared to really like
Nice.
stepping up into the next part of my career. So
Gotcha. Awesome, man. So I gotta know, because your music has sort of like this very varied sound to it, you know, and you're pulling from genres and decades and this and that. How would you describe the music that you make? I know it's kind of a tough one, but
well, the tag that I kind of put on everything is psychedelic rock and soul.
yeah, I
That
feel that.
when you hear the rest of the EP, it'll definitely like click into place.
Okay.
I some of the acoustic stuff. While I enjoy writing those songs, and it is another facet of my sound, it's not fully reflective of what like I sound like with a full band.
Okay.
Um, so I think this EP, once it comes out, will be a little more defining for what I actually sound like for the
All right.
most. So
Nice. All right. So I've got two hypotheticals for you at this point. You had mentioned some of your favorite artists, but I got to know who would be a dream collaboration for you in the sense of you can use them as a producer, they could feature on a verse, they could be a guitarist or a bassist. Who would that person be? Dead or alive, too. Let's get crazy with
well, I think as far as a producer and even as a songwriter, I think a person I look up to the most is Brian Wilson from the Beach
it.
Boys.
Oh, yeah. Legend.
He's just a
Yeah.
genius.
Mhm.
He can make such complicated songs
Yeah.
into something that sounds so pleasing.
It's just, yeah, that's another person I could talk about for
Yeah.
days.
So yeah, I'd probably have to say Brian Wilson would be the one that I would love to work with.
That's a great answer. Such a complex person. I mean, like,
Really?
it's tough because obviously people of that era can love and respect and they know the songs, but I feel like nowadays it's just kind of dropped off the face of the earth in terms of people talking about him. And
Well, I there's been so much turmoil in his career, and like
yeah,
he's had to like leave and come back so many times, and
totally.
he hasn't really been like the Beach Boys for a really long time.
Right, right.
So I don't know. I even. even if it's not so much sounding exactly like, Beach Boys or Brian Wilson, I just think
Right.
he has this incredible ear that would be really
Yeah.
useful to have in any circumstance, really.
Totally. No, no, no. It's picking his brain and
Right.
utilizing like his experience. And obviously
Yeah.
not that you would go for, like the surf rock sound or anything
Right.
like that. But I mean, hey, who knows? But
Right.
yeah, using what he's made and what he's collaborated on would be an absolute treat. So
Yeah.
that's cool. All right, second hypothetical question. So we are recording this on May 18th.
Mhm.
What does the next year look like for you as a musician and a now touring artist?
Well, my hope is that in the fall, I'm going to be able to travel some different states around the country and
Mhm.
just play to people that I've never heard my music before.
Yeah.
Um, I'm really looking to try and just grow as much as I can in a
Totally.
lot of different ways, from trying to grow, social media and all that kind of stuff, to just growing as an artist and learning more about myself and
Right.
trying to figure out, after I release this, what am I going to write next after that?
Yeah. That's reasonable. It's really all you can do at this point, and it's like partly playing the game as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a lot of everything's been so up in the air with COVID
Yeah,
and all that stuff. Uh,
totally.
I'm really just looking forward to kind of getting back to uh, normal, I guess.
Yeah.
Going to
I,
see shows and playing shows and all that.
yeah, man. Well, yeah, the shows are getting planned. People are buying concert tickets for August, September at this point. Like things are happening.
Yeah,
It's just I feel like the wait has been so long, but we're almost there, just a little bit longer.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just hope there's no major setbacks. That's all I have to
I mean,
say.
yeah. Cross my fingers for
Yeah.
that one. All right. Well, I've only got a few more questions for you at this
Sure.
point. I got to know though. So we are a little over a third through this year, which is crazy. Can't
Yeah.
believe it.
Right.
But what are some non-musical goals that you've set for yourself for the rest of the year?
Well, within the last year or so, I've always loved to cook. But
Nice.
in the last year or so, I've made a lot of different things I've never made before.
Hmm.
Everything from, barbecue ribs to pasta and all sorts of different stuff. So I really am just trying to keep up that trend and trying to do a lot of different things. I'm not trying to be a professional cook or anything, but I
No.
think food is probably my second greatest love in life behind
Yeah.
music.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I get that.
So yeah, just trying to keep experimenting with different things. I think I would love to one day, if I were to have my own venue, I would love to have, some restaurant stuff mixed into.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, man. And you're like in one of the barbecue capitals of the world. So I
Right.
say if there's any reason for me to ever drive through Kansas City, it's going to be to eat my
Right.
way through at every single barbecue stop I could possibly find.
I have always said that the only reason for traveling is to just eat food in different places.
I don't know why anyone else travels. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. There's sights and sounds and
Yeah,
museums, but
whatever.
Jesus, if you're not stuffing your face at every corner, like what the hell's the point of all those?
Precisely. Precisely.
Seriously. Oh man. Okay, so my last question for you here is something that I like to ask all the artists that I get to talk to, but basically for the viewer or the person that discovers you from this, what is a message that you would like to pass off to them as they listen to your music for the first time?
I think the thing that I always try to connect with people through my music is that hopefully listening to my songs can provide some kind of like place of comfort for you.
Mhm.
Either because you understand what the lyrics are saying or you just really like the way the song sounds. But I really try to like provide some sort of like emotional comfort or support for people in
Yeah.
my music, and I hope that people can find that and find some kind of peace through it, I suppose. So
I love that. I really love that. I think it's a fantastic answer and sort of the
thank you.
perfect cap to this great interview.
Well, thank you.
And so for everyone else out there, this, obviously we're recording this before the song comes out, but when this comes out, Stuck will have debuted. So I highly recommend all of the listens, and please check out the rest of Colton Cox's music as well, because it is exactly what you need. You need his music in your life. Colton, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I really appreciate it, and I sincerely cannot wait for the EP to come out.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Austin.
Yeah,
It's
man,
lovely conversation.
you are super welcome. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will speak soon.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Bye bye.